Jon. Our topic for this call is around security awareness. And Jon, we talked to you a couple of times around traditional HPE networking products, around Aruba, and now we're going to talk to something new. And then you brought us a guest today. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me today. My name is Brandon Atchley. I'm a technical account manager that focuses on the HPE Aruba line card, but I have a specific focus on the Edge Connect Silver Peak platform and Access Security, which is a newer acquisition that HPE acquired earlier this year.
Yeah, Access is not the security company. It's if you want to look it up, you're going to look AXIS Security on the internet.
It sounds like it could be something interesting. So what's really the difference? I know we've talked about traditional connectivity, VPNs, some of the conditional access around with Aruba products. What really sets us apart, and why did HPE make the choice to make this acquisition to bring in a new product?
Yeah, I think when we look at the way networks have kind of evolved, they're not all this type of everything's in the office. We're using some private, we're using some public cloud type of resources, but we still have this thought process of a castle and moat type of architecture to protecting our environment. And I would say that access security allows us to be able to protect people no matter where they are out in the world. And we do that in a way, or they do that in a way where it's not necessarily a VPN connection in the environment. So I think the time has come to where we evolve past VPN connections into our environment because we still have that castle and moat type of thought process.
So we've talked a lot historically about the whole hybrid work thing and the fact that we don't have people in offices all the time now. And what you're saying too is that the application landscape has changed, where all our applications aren't in the office anymore. So how do we protect those applications, whether they're regardless of where they're at? This is what Access Security does for us?
Yep, and I'll answer that. So with Access Security, it's a portal that you can build out with your cloud-hosted applications, your on-network applications and resources, connections into machines, right? So I can have a centralized portal where everything's connected to, and I can manipulate how I'm connecting to it based off of the device I'm connecting into, the time of day, the credentials I'm utilizing, and then I can even massage that and change things, apply policies on top of it. So you can say that, okay, why can't I just go to these cloud-hosted resources direct? Well, tunneling it through Access, I'm also applying a layer of security on top of it and doing things like data loss prevention to make sure they're not taking data they shouldn't be.
So it's easy to set up as well, whether you're the IT administrator, right? It's an easy to use portal, or the user coming into the environment, because you can literally connect with whatever device that you may have. So it's a true BYOD type of environment.
So we'll say it enables that kind of connectivity. Whether or not an organization chooses to do that or not is another story. So really what we've kind of done is, with the traditional VPN model, if I'm a remote user, managed device, let's say, I'm connecting into the office pretty much as if I were in the office traditionally. But now what we're doing is saying, okay, well, that kind of virtual place that we're going to is this portal. Is that kind of a good way to describe it?
Yeah, we use that portal along with maybe a small agent that kind of exists to be able to protect people and give them access. I think a good example of some of this is like a contractor, right? Do you want to configure a VPN for a contractor? Because you kind of give them the keys to the castle to get in an environment. Whereas this solution will limit that user to be able to connect to the environment. And it's not a huge, complicated process that maybe you'd have around setting up a VPN user into the environment, right, Brandon?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I would say the forefront of this is zero trust, right? So I'm not giving somebody access to everything and hoping they don't go where they shouldn't. I'm only going to provide them access to the resources they need to be accessing. And then if they don't need access anymore, I'm revoking that. So I can pull that back, so then now, they don't have access.
In the end, we need to provide the same type of castle and moat protection, but to wherever you are, no matter wherever you are. We still need the type of protection, but we just need to re-evolve the way we're looking at it.
So would you think about this as people who are still kind of locked into that traditional model saying, well, we can add that same kind of perimeter defense that you're used to in that traditional model? It's just that it's now kind of a virtual perimeter enabled by this access security product. So we have those higher level of controls to provide access, whether we want to limit it to managed devices, which obviously an organization could choose to, or to enable conditional access again. So I've always been the idea of, and we've talked about this with some of the Aruba products, like, okay, well, if I'm on a managed device, I've got this level of access. If I'm on a non-managed device, I've got a different level of access. If I'm in business hours, I might have access to things that I don't outside of business hours. So we really can provide that more robust option of control without having everything come back to the data center, which you talked about a little. You mentioned Silver Peak, and I'm aware of what they do. But it doesn't seem to make sense to bring everything back to a centralized terrestrial on-premise location to go back out to some cloud resource somewhere.
Yeah. So in the end, the sum up kind of what you said is what we're trying to do is make it easier for the administrators as well as the users to get access to what they need to get access to without giving them access to any of the bad things that could exist on the internet.
Yep. And then the cherry on the cake is that access security can integrate into the EdgeConnect Silver Peak portfolio. So you're not just one or the other, it's layering on top of it. And then we mentioned with ClearPass, we can bring that identity data into both solutions. So that way we're making sure end to end, no matter where you're connecting and how, we know who the user is and what permissions they're supposed to be given.
So this isn't really, it sounds like it can be a standalone solution, but if I have reasons for higher level protections or optimizations, I can build that in, either building on those traditional products that I've had in place already, or adding them once I've made the decision to go to this kind of open cloud-based model.
Yeah, security is always a layered approach, and I'd love to everybody have an HPE only type of solution, but there's a lot of vendors that are here with your virtual conference that could layer in with our solution to provide a full end-to-end security.
So you have other integrations as well. So I can get some additional benefits if I've got something in place already. I can layer this on top to provide capabilities that maybe those manufacturers don't provide.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Sounds like a great direction for HPE to be heading into, and sounds like you may have some new opportunities being able to integrate with some of the traditional infrastructure that people have in place.